if you are looking for that job, getting that call to come in for an interview is exciting, but it can also be very nerve-wracking. So here to help us out with those tough interview questions is Joni Daniels. She's all about making sure that you succeed. Now, you get the call, you go in for the interview. What are some of the hardest questions that you could face during a job interview?
Well, most people prepare for interviews with typical questions, and there are a lot of them, but the hard ones are ones that they haven't prepared for. And sometimes it can be something as simple as, why do you want this job? Or why should we hire you? Or what do you want to make? What do you know about our company? So there are a lot of questions that people haven't done their preparation for, and they seem sort of open-ended, and yet you really want to answer them succinctly and confidently so that you make sure that the interviewer sees you as a strong candidate.
Right. You mentioned money. That's always a sensitive issue.
It is.
If they ask you, well, how much do you want to make? How do you respond to that?
You never talk about money until a genuine bona fide offer has been made. And if they press you for a range or a number, you can answer in a very deft way by saying, I'm sure that the pay for this job is going to be fair, and I'm sure you have a range that you're working with that will be reasonable.
Okay, and you definitely want to do your homework.
Yeah, and not just, you know, when somebody asks you, what do you know about our company, say, I don't know, or I just want a job. That's not what employers are looking for. And go beyond the cursory search to their website on the internet. Do some digging, read some articles, read some things that have been on the Baltimore Business Journal website or the Baltimore Sun website. Do some research so you can ask some in-depth questions or make some comments that show that you're aware of some of the issues that the company's dealing with.
Okay, let's get into the illegal part. I understand there are some questions out there that the potential employer shouldn't ask you.
You're right. There are many questions that are discriminatory. Any question that singles people out because of race, ethnic background, age, sexual preference, marital status, those are illegal and shouldn't be asked. And yet, many times, interviewers ask them, and that can really come as a big surprise.
So how do you handle that if an employer says, what's your religion? Do you have any kids? How do you just avoid it and say, I'm not answering that, that's illegal?
That's a really good question. And when I talk with managers, I talk about how to prepare and ask questions that are relevant to the job and not discriminatory. When we talk to people who are interviewing, we want to make you as prepared as possible. And since those are questions that can really freak you out and you want to answer them well, the first thing I tell people is first try and determine if you think they're being discriminatory on purpose, like they really are trying to figure out some of these things which they're not supposed to know or ask or make employment decisions on, or if they just are making a harmless mistake. They don't even know that these questions shouldn't be asked.
And sometimes a humor can go a long way.
It can go a long way. I mean, there are three options. You can choose to answer the question. It's not illegal to answer an illegal question. Do it concisely and very deftly. You can not answer the question. You can say, I'd really prefer to keep my personal life and my professional life separate. Or if you're concerned that I won't be able to work on weekends, let me assure you that's not going to be a problem. Or you can sort of sidestep it and not address it directly, but say, you know, it sounds like you're worried that I might not be able to work in this country, and let me assure you that's not going to be a problem.
Okay, that was some very helpful information. Thank you so much. And
my pleasure.
It'll lead you to get that job.
I hope so.
Yes, that's the goal here. All right, well, thanks so much for joining us, Joni Daniels again. And let's toss it over to Jamie.
All right.